YouTube bound community, 2024 fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we are here today for part one of my favorite albums of 2024. In keeping with the year itself, my top 24 albums of 2024. This was a seriously impressive year for music, and one of my favorite years for music in recent memory. I've done these videos over the last, I don't know how many years I've done these now, but this year in particular was one where I had so many choices that I really, really loved. It was an exciting year. So much came out. I'm just so stoked to jump in and see what you guys had on your list as well and see if we had anything in common. So let's start. So like I said, this video is part one, numbers 24 through 11. At number 24, Itchy and the Nits, the worst of Itchy and the Nits. Tight, raw, catchy, constantly refreshing punk rock. This collection of tracks is effortlessly cool. It's just energetic punk rock. It's in your face, it's brutal, it's raw. It's just a lot of fun. If you're looking for something that's just dripping and cool, Itchy and the Nits is where it's at. At number 23, an EP from Ringo Starr, Crooked Boy. Yeah, there's a few EPs on this list. It's my list, whatever. I think this is Ringo's 5th EP release at this point, and Linda Perry helped him with most of this record, but I love the transitions from country to sort of early 2000s New York indie rock. Ringo definitely pushes himself vocally on this one, which I think is cool and, again, refreshing to hear something new from him. And hearing that little country flavor on February Sky definitely, I think, set the scene for his new album coming up in January of 25. At 22, Mr. Colin Blunstone of the Zombies, he put out a little EP called Less is More. And these were acoustic demos from an album he put out in 2009. And these tracks on their own, the magic in his voice paired with just an acoustic guitar, it's one of the most beautiful things you'll hear. It's seriously an amazing addition to any Zombies collection. It's a thing of beauty. Colin's voice is just amazing, and hearing how pure and open and honest it is on top of one singular acoustic guitar makes for a sonic treat. It's a great little EP. At 21, we have Mr. Henry Hall with Stop Doing Funny Stuff. Henry treats us to his wonderfully quirky world of figuring himself out, surviving and navigating personal hardships, and figuring out where the day just generally will go. His vocals are as dynamic as always. His lyrics are sharp and brutally honest, and often conversational. An album that constantly keeps you on your toes as you're not really sure what's going to happen next, but you're in for the ride because of how much heart and feeling this record has. At number 20, Kim Gordon, ex-Sonic Youth member Kim Gordon with The Collective. Obviously, as a Sonic Youth fan, you expect some form of experimentation with any project from any member of that band. But with this album in particular, I think it really caught people off guard with how far out it really is. Not only are you blending genres together so seamlessly, everything from like super fuzzy, distorted sound effects to trap beats, and then her vocals on top of it are just Lou Reed layers of cool. The lyrics are inventive and poetic, and the amount of experimentation on this record is inspiring. You hear this thing and you're like, I want to go out and make some weird, quirky rock and roll too. She really nailed it with this album. At number 19, David Gilmore of Pink Floyd with Luck and Strange, an album that he's gone on to say is the best thing he's done since Dark Side of the Moon, which is a pretty hefty statement to make, but I see where he's going with it. The record is cohesive, it feels like one complete thought, and it's also a family affair. His wife Polly wrote most of the lyrics, his kids sing and play on it, and it feels so exciting. It feels like you're getting a letter from an old friend. His voice is absolutely perfect still. His guitar playing and soloing still has that storytelling effect. Every song on this record is digestible poetry, and every note adds a texture and a dimension that's so familiar but so new at the same time. It really was an unexpected listen. I like Pink Floyd, I like David Gilmour. Hearing a record this deep into someone's career, and he's not phoning in a single second of it, that's impressive. At 18, Kate Ballinger with Songs from 1,000 Frames of Mine. I really, really enjoyed this record. I did a review on this one a few months ago as well. It's a warm, creative, thoughtful album. There's so much wonderful juxtaposition of like happy-go-lucky music with like world-weary lyrics, or sad music with happy lyrics, which is one of my favorite sort of blends of ideas. She absolutely made some of my favorite songs of the year too on this record with I See It Now. Um, that thing is just incredible. At number 17, Magdalena Bay, Imaginal Disc. This album is pop music for the future. It's endlessly inventive and constantly refreshingly creative. The production expertly serves each song. It's not just one feeling the entire way through. There are times when the production is raw and tight, and there's times where the production is wide and expansive and reverby. Elements of club music, light rock, joyful pop, indie rock vibes, sci-fi novels. There's a hunger and a drive and a search throughout all of the tracks on this super impressive collection that will happily live in your ears for a long time. The amount of catchy hooks, but the amount of experimentation at the same time, it's something to behold. At number 16, The Cure, their long awaited follow up to 413 Dream, Songs of a Lost World. This album was exactly what I was hoping it would be. You get these super long intros, which I'm a sucker for. They build into the song. It's beautiful, it's syrupy, and what I like about it the most is that it takes its time. Classic Cure lyrics about relationships and looking at one's life, and Robert Smith's vocals are like a time capsule. He sounds exactly the same. It's a truly impressive set that was well worth the wait, and Robert's gone on to say they've recorded at least 3 albums worth of material, so more is coming, and I'm stoked. At number 15, Tyler, the Creator with Chromacopia, one of the year's biggest surprise albums. This thing is full of clever lyrical play, expressive and dynamic instrumentals, and some truly vulnerable moments. There's totally a rock element to this record overall, which works well for the timbre of his voice, but I really love the calmer moments, like on tracks like Tomorrow, which has a lot of acoustic guitars and pianos and an overall really reflective mood, but this album definitely loves to explore, and it feels cohesive for as many different parts make up this thing. At number 14, Kendrick Lamar with GNX, another surprise record that just came out of nowhere and blew everyone's minds. Kendrick has had an incredible year, let's put it that way. And he's topped it off with one of the most exciting records of his career. The humor, the confidence, the heartfelt moments on this thing, it's a truly dynamic album. I mean, you get some incredible songs like Luther on this thing, which is a beautiful duet with him and SZA, and hearing him sing is so wonderful. I would love a record of just that, just him singing. It works so well. TV Off has become one of the most memed songs of the fall/winter, with Mustard doing his Mustard! Overall, Kendrick on this album proves why he's one of the best. He's got the receipts to back it up. His flows are incredible. His lyrical wordplay is top-notch. He is one of the best. At number 13, Chinese American Bear with Wah, one of my favorite albums of the whole year. This super fun indie duo created this album that just feels like its own little universe. It's dancey, it's quirky, it's catchy, but most of all, it's from the heart. You hear the relationship, you hear the blend so seamlessly, so effortlessly. Both musically and personally, but you just get lost in their exciting, warm little world. It's just a comfy place to be. Feeling Fuzzy is one of my favorite tracks on this record, one of my favorite tracks of the year, but the whole album is a bop. At number 12, Amel and the Sniffers with Cartoon Darkness, starting an album off with the line, it's such a classic punk move. The album is loud and brash and confident and confrontational and endlessly enjoyable. I love the self-empowerment of being yourself and subsequently being a girl and just not being objectified by dumb guys. The amount of catchy hooks on this thing is insane. I love that they push themselves into some new sonic territory and play with some new textures, but it's still very them at the same time. Every single song on this album is seriously badass. I really love You Should Not Be Doing That. If you want an album that will charge you up, this is the one for you. And at number 11, we have Leon Bridges with Leon. What an absolutely gorgeous album this one is. One of the most beautiful records of his career and of the year itself. A very autobiographical album. It's a soul-searching, nostalgic, comfy listen. The delicate production, the expert musicianship, everyone nails every little note on this thing. And then on top of that, Leon's heartfelt, rich voice just is like that butter melting on top of everything else. You're right there with Leon in Texas as a kid. You're right there for those first relationships. You're right there for the present. You're right there for what he wants for the future. It's a reflective album that's so deeply personal, but yet so relatable. Like an example of writing from the heart that anyone can find themselves in. All right, that was numbers 24 through 11 of my top 24 favorite albums of 2024. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If any of these records made your list as well. The next video will be out very soon of numbers 10 through 1. Can't wait to put that one out. The top 5 were definitely a little hard to do. I would say the top 2 in particular were the hardest, but thank you for watching, and it's been such a crazy cool year, so thanks for being here, and a wrap-up video will also happen at some point soon, but let me know your thoughts on these records below, and we'll chat about them. Thanks for watching.